Hello everyone, I'm Gemma Beall. Welcome to Beyond Second Cognition. Oh geez, I'm exhausted. I am just absolutely freaking exhausted. Got a crazy day job, and it's been really super crazy. In the last week, I've been coming home, and Endel has just produced video after video after video after video. And I find myself kind of getting a little bit internally frustrated, not because he's producing video after video after video, but because I'm having to produce video after video after video to go along with the audio that he's produced. And this is a very ingrained habit, I think, that we have within ourselves. But before I talk about this and go any further, I'm kind of going to digress a bit. The one thing that my PSOYCA has shown to me, ad nauseum I might add, is highlighting all the subtle ways that we're programmed externally, but also how we have programmed ourselves. And this kind of ties in with the script that Endel has. I'll be completely honest, I just woke up from a nap because I'm totally exhausted. And I see that Endel has produced a video, audio, while I've been laying down, so I have no idea what he has said in it. All I know is the title of it. And I see what came to me while I was taking a nap is basically what I'm sharing with you now, and I'm pretty sure it's going to tie into what he has. But anyway, back to what my PSOYCA showed me while I was laying down. Our PSOYCAs, you've heard us talk about the PSOYCA push, that you will have that internal push that you've got to do something. And for those of y'all who have experienced, y'all completely understand what we are talking about. And these videos that both Endel and I have been making has been one that is that PSOYCA push. We don't just make videos to make videos or just to hear ourselves talk. We do so because that's what our PSOYCAs are guiding us to do. They're messages that other people who are listening to us probably need to hear. And so this last week, he and I have both been pushed. You know, he may have done videos that outnumber mine by 3-1, but that doesn't mean that we're both not being pushed internally by our PSOYCA to share some of the insights that we're sharing. In my exhaustion, I find myself exuding a subtle habit that I didn't realize I'd programmed myself with. You know, I like my downtime. I've got to have my downtime. And my downtime does not supersede my PSOYCA work. And I found myself getting frustrated this week, not frustrating, but frustrated because I haven't been getting my downtime because of the amount of videos that I've been having to do for him. And that's the subtlety of the internal programming. I know I'm not making sense, but I swear I am trying to. One of the things that I've kind of been struggling with, in addition to what I'm talking here, I'm going to try to bring this together, but I also want y'all to use this video as an example that I don't completely have my shit together at all times. I know I make this sound easy sometimes with the videos, but I still struggle with certain aspects of sharing. And one of the things that I have a difficulty with is doing off the cuff, and this one is completely off the cuff. I prefer doing the scripted parts because I want to make sense. I want to make all of my points, and I want to say everything that I want to say about what I'm trying to share. And one of the things that I feel not necessarily uncomfortable with, but not completely comfortable with, is talking off the cuff, because I know I'm going to forget something. I know that I'm going to say, you know, way too many times, or or and, or whatever. You know, my brain moves 1,000 miles an hour. And that's not the same thing as the internal chatter. I have an incredibly active brain. You know, my little TV screen, everything shows, when I talk, everything comes on that TV screen. And when I see it on the TV screen, that's what comes out of my mouth. And I've always been this way. Well, when I'm writing scripts, it's easy to press pause, finish an idea, back up, whatever. But when I'm doing it off the cuff, I don't have that luxury. And so I've been using scripts as basically a crutch. Not because I don't think that I could do it off the cuff. It's more about I want to make the presentation not so erratic for you guys. But you know what? I've been riding on that laurel for a little bit too long. And basically everything that's come about today during my little nap that I just took was like a throat punch. Gemma, get over it. So I get up and get out of bed. I tell Endel, get out of your office. I'm going to record a script. And so this one's kind of a mishmash of me bearing my PSOYCA to you about my own issue that was brought to my awareness. And then I'm going to also include 2 scripts that I've been writing that I stopped writing because I was so exhausted, because I felt like Endel's just killing me with videos, but he wasn't. You know, that was my perspective. You know, he follows his pushes and I have to go with that. I don't need to sit there and whine like a little girl because I don't get my downtime. Wah. All right. So I'm over it. But I woke up with that kick in the butt that I needed to kind of get past this. So yes, I don't know what this video is going to be called. I'm just going to tell you guys it's a little Gemma mishmash, so y'all can see what I decide to name it once I do it. But one of the points I wanted to make on this, one of the scripts that I was writing, I had chosen to call it First Cog Perspective versus Second Cog Knowing. And the example I wanted to use was my standing in front of your PSOYCA mirror video. In that video was a very powerful piece. I don't know how many people really found it powerful, but for me, it was extremely powerful. And in that video, I said, "You got this." And it was a very powerful statement, not just for you, but also for me. In reflecting over it this week, I had an incident at work where a first cogger that I work with said, "I've got this." And when he didn't, in fact, have what he thought he got ribbed horribly by the other people. And it got me thinking how we have these statements or sentiments or ideas or whatnot when we're operating in one level of cognition, and the same phrase, word, or whatever from second cognition can have a whole different meaning. And, you know, this all goes back down to nuance. And you've heard me and Endel talk a lot about nuance. And nuance is the subtleties of what's not being said. And then I got thinking about a time on our path, an experience that both Endel and I had. And there was this insurance video. Well, no. Let me start a little bit before that. There's several people, and this has happened multiple times, not just one time, but multiple times over the course of dealing with people. It will give somebody a little bit of information, and they think, oh yeah, I got this. And it reminds me of a video, not a video, of a commercial for an insurance company. You know, the one with Flo. I can't remember which insurance company it is. And this guy is sitting there, you know, I got this, trying to get a guy juggling chainsaws to throw him the chainsaws because he is so full of himself because he could choose his own insurance options that he thinks he could do damn near anything. You know, I got this. And we see a lot of people that come into this path that think that they got this. And Endel and I are sharing the bigger parts of this picture that we see with you all, because the universe is much larger than we, I think, have the capability to perceive it as, because of all of our limiting filters. And in as much that Endel and I have shared with you guys, there's still a whole bunch that we have experienced and have seen that we've just not shared because we don't know how. And there's still a lot of this universe that, even as much as we've seen, that we don't even know. I have run into things that I don't even know if I'm ready to perceive it because of how I am still filtered. So I want people to understand that when I was saying, you got this, it's the difference in an arrogant bolstering of the ego, thinking you could do something that you can do, which is, I got this, than somebody speaking to your PSOYCA in a calm, pragmatic manner, saying, you got this. I'm not saying you got the journey. I'm saying you got the end result of what you're trying to achieve. And in that video, standing in front of your PSOYCA mirror, that video was specifically about the internal battle with the habits that you have of criticizing yourself and putting yourself down and beating yourself up when you fuck up. You got this means that you're going to get past that voice. You're going to get past beating yourself up for making mistakes. You're going to get past criticizing yourself when you don't do things the way you think that you could. You've got this means that you're past it. You are going to make it past it. You are going to get past it, and it will no longer be a part of your experience. That's what I mean when I say you've got this. Now, when it comes to understanding stuff, you've got this. But that doesn't mean that you've got this because you can do it because you're arrogant. It means on the end of it, you're going to make it through the journey. You're going to make it over the hurdles that are in front of you. But it's not making your ego think that you could do things that you just can't do. You're not going to be able to fly. You're not going to be able to jump off a 10-story building and land firmly on your feet like a little kitty cat. You know, it's pragmatic. It's pragmatism at its finest. And that's what you need to understand. But when you see a first cog person looking at infinity saying, oh, I got this, you know, without having a fucking clue as to what's going to come up, that's the arrogant part. But when you're talking to yourself, you know, regardless that I'm going to fall on my ass, regardless that I'm going to make mistakes, I'm not going to beat myself up. I got this. Does that make sense? One of the second scripts I was working on that I was going to call The Excitement of Discovery. This one I think is important because this path is so damn difficult. I mean, it's difficult physically, it's difficult emotionally. Even when you become emotionally neutral, you're not going to have the crazy, ecstatic, emotional things back and forth. But there's still going to be some form of emotional turmoil that you're going to encounter every now and then because the path is damn difficult. But it comes down to your mentality of how you are going to look at it. I remember a point on my path that I would wake up every day hating life. I hated the fact that I had to get up and go to a job that I hate. I hated the fact that I was stuck here in this human body. You know, when I remember being out there and having much better life experiences. And all of these culminated into a very negative outlook on what I was here to do. And I'm sure you all know that feeling. You know you're here to do something. You know what you're here to do. and you know it's going to be hard, and you know it's going to be done, and you have such dread at looking at the scope of what you have to do that it just takes any joy out of living that you could possibly have. And I truly do understand that. I have been there. But that is a mindset that can be changed. You can alter it by how you perceive the battle. And one of the analogy that came to me was the analogy of flipping houses. I don't know how many of you watch TV. I really don't watch it that much, but if I go visit family, they love HGTV. So I spend my weekend having to watch Flip This House. And this is a great example to kind of explain what I'm talking about here. And what makes it a great example is that you have these people that go look for old beat up houses, and they will buy this beat up house for dirt cheap, and they go in and they completely remodel it. They gut the inside, they pull up the floors, they pull out the cabinets, they gut the inside of the house. And then they come in with designers and they put down new fancy pretty floors and put up new walls and have backsplashes and new shiny appliances and all that good shit. And then they sell the house for more money than they made. So even though it's hard work to sit there and gut a house and tear up the floors and put down new carpeting or whatever you plan on doing, they go into it with this sense of excitement because they are taking something old and dilapidated and turning it into something beautiful. And that is basically what we are doing here. When I say we, all of us internally have this old, beat up, dilapidated house full of all of these religions and mindsets and just things that hold back our PSOYCA, and that has been built over our own PSOYCA house. And we have to tear it down and begin again. And we have to go through that hard, difficult process of tearing up floors and tearing down walls and tearing up cabinets so we can rebuild our PSOYCA house for us to live in. So we're not doing it to sell off to somebody else, but it's that same excitement of discovery that I go through every day when I'm finding a new filter. And that's my quest. That's my goal. When I go inside my mind, okay, what does not serve my PSOYCA? I'm going in to find what doesn't work so I can get rid of it and build my own house. And when you change your focus of looking at this, oh, this is going to be so hard, to, hey, this is something I get to tear apart and create in my own way, that changes your mindset from one of, oh shit, do I really want to do this? Oh my God, this is so hard, to, hey, I've got this. And all it is changing a mindset. Yes, the road is hard. Yes, you're going to have hurdles, but you could either see it as a challenge, something to stand up to and overcome because you got this, or you could run away. It's your choice. I want to thank everybody for listening to my rambles, and this was totally off the cuff. So thank you. Thank you for all of our new subscribers, and stay the course and don't give up on yourself because you got this.